the southwestern corner of the Amazon basin and forming the border between Brazil and Bolivia, the Iténez River is one of the tributaries of the Amazon River and a key focus for World Wildlife Fund. It's a remote area with seasonal floods covering most of the savanna forest and much of the Iténez Protected Area, floods that are critical to the climate, landscape, biodiversity, and communication systems here. The Iténez River and its own network of tributaries are home to unique animals like the pink river dolphin, innumerable birds, the giant rodent capybara, and the charismatic giant river otter, among others. Because of the area's remoteness and low human population density, this river system remains largely preserved. But the ecosystem here is extremely fragile, and development is steadily creeping in. Among potential threats are the construction of highways and large-scale dams. If poorly planned, they could eventually have a negative impact on aquatic ecosystems and resources. World Wildlife Fund began working in the Iténez Protected Area in 2004 to promote natural resources management with the participation of local communities. These programs, however, have not been easy to implement, and they've required considerable amounts of time to win community trust.
Cuando llegamos a trabajar en la zona era una situación bastante difícil de manejar. Había bastante rechazo de la población por falta de información. Es una zona bastante alejada, con difícil acceso.
WWF began supporting this protected area through partnerships with the government of Bolivia, local NGOs, Fauna Agua, and IFE, and collaborating with local authorities and residents, which broadened the network of commitment and support to Iténez.
Step by step, we tried to involve people and incorporate them within all the conservation process. And this gave us a lot of results. We worked together with the local schools, such that the small children from the beginning, from their first age, start to think about conservation and issues which are important for conservation of all these animals.
By reaching out and involving communities in the decision-making process, WWF has won the commitment and direct involvement of local residents, who are now able to make informed decisions on managing their natural resources and participating in managing the protected area.
What we try to do actually is to prepare local people such that they can be a very strong stakeholder who can give opinions to the government and can influence decisions taken by the government.
WWF has been actively involved in improving fisheries management. Locals in this area are dependent on subsistence hunting and fishing. Working with all 14 communities who live around the protected area, and with the support of local partners, fishermen were encouraged to organize and abide by rules they themselves had a stake in creating. Fishermen were also taught to collect and monitor their own fishing data, so they do not overharvest or use unsustainable techniques that reduce the fish population in the long run.
Entonces, actualmente uno de los logros más importantes que se ha logrado con la Asociación de Pescadores, con las comunidades y con las instituciones de apoyo también, en este caso la WWF, es que la Asociación Faunagua ha coordinado, a través también del área protegida, la elaboración de este reglamento donde las comunidades han participado activamente en su elaboración y ellas han tomado una decisión de regular la actividad en toda el área protegida.
Part of good management is good enforcement. WWF has supported the efforts of the Bolivian government to protect Iténez by funding the hiring, training, and operational costs of park guards to help encourage good compliance with the conservation rules. WWF has also worked closely with the park guard team to develop a constructive relationship with local communities in Iténez.
Hoy en día se puede decir que ha habido un cambio bastante notorio al respecto, pues las comunidades ya son conscientes de la importancia que es contar con un área protegida y con un cuerpo de protección que eventualmente les viene brindando apoyo.
Because the protected area is so vast and staffing is slim, WWF has supported construction of shore-based and floating control posts that provide places for park guards to sleep and prepare their meals. Located in convenient locations, they allow guards to remain on patrol for weeks. Among other equipment, WWF has also provided special radio communication devices that are essential for coordination in a region without mobile phone service or internet links.
Esta área protegida viene funcionando gracias a un convenio que tiene la gobernación del departamento del Beni con WWF. Pero sin embargo hemos estado viendo de que el personal que tenemos no alcanza. Somos 15, pero la superficie del área abarca más de casi 1,5 millones de hectáreas. Tenemos aproximadamente 1,000 kilómetros de frontera.
Among the inhabitants of this vast territory is the unique pink river dolphin, known locally here as bufeo. Scientists have determined this is a separate species from the Amazon river dolphin. These creatures have smaller and more flexible bodies than their oceanic counterparts, enabling them to swim freely through the jungles in the flooded forests during the rainy season. The bufeo is an important indicator of the quality of the freshwater ecosystems it inhabits.
Dams which are not well planned and which are planned without considering the migrating behavior of fish and of dolphins might eventually have a very dramatic impact on aquatic fauna in general and on dolphins in particular.
Another animal facing threats from dams and excessive hunting is the giant South American turtle. Damming of rivers can cause the water cycle to be drastically altered. This can confuse the turtle's natural seasonal pattern of nesting, which is timed to the alternation of floods and low flows. To determine the conservation status of these turtles, local volunteers are taught to collect data on turtle nests, baby turtles, and their consumption by humans. After years of work supported by WWF, local residents still collect eggs to eat, but they now make sure that certain beaches are off limits. The turtles are considered a critical species for maintaining plant diversity for their role as dispersers of fruits and seeds. Working with the local NGO Faunagua, WWF has supported the production of handicrafts made from fish and caiman skin. This program has become an important source of income for the communities. Bolivia is one of only 2 countries worldwide that is allowed to legally harvest and trade in caiman products.
Actualmente la actividad de aprovechamiento de lagarto está regulada, está normada, hay un cupo legal asignado por la autoridad nacional que le permite al lagartero comercializar su producto y sus derivados de lagarto de manera legal y que pueda distribuir los beneficios de manera equitativa entre todos los beneficiarios.
Here in Bella Vista, the skins of fish and caiman are tanned in a traditional organic process and are used to make products for the tourist trade.
En el curtido, desde que empezamos a curtir hasta darle el punto acabado a la artesanía, absolutamente no usamos ninguna clase de químico. Netamente natural y todo es artesanal a mano.
Actualmente estamos haciendo propuestas de normas a nivel nacional que puedas comercializar artesanías con sello de legalidad, con artesanías con sellos ecológicos, que vienen directamente con materia prima de áreas manejadas.
WWF's support doesn't stop with sustainable handicrafts. Bolivia is the world's largest exporter of Brazil nuts. Harvesting and production of Brazil nuts is the most important business in northern Bolivia, making up 75% of the income for 200,000 people. To produce viable quantities of nuts, large stands of mature trees need to be managed. Partnering with the NGO Ifai, WWF has helped several communities, including a village called Matagua, where women have joined forces to collect and process Brazil nuts collectively.
Fue luego que entré yo de presidenta de Cabildo, ¿no? Tuve esa iniciativa, ¿no? Porque también tenemos el mismo derecho que los varones, ¿no? Tenerlo de nosotros también. Nosotros trabajamos, ¿no? Aquí en estos castañales son de las mujeres. Hemos visto que también tenemos la necesidad que las mujeres, las mamás también puedan tener, ¿no? Sus castañales y trabajar unidos, ¿no? Trabajamos, recolectamos todo, lo vendemos y ahí sacamos para comprar alguna necesidad y el que no tenga se le guarda el dinero para otra cosa, ¿no?
Together with IFI, WWF has also helped the community to raise its standards and to work toward organic certification, which will make their forest products easier to sell and more competitive in the international marketplace. Thanks to the partnership with this local NGO, the 14 communities of the protected area got training on sustainable agricultural production. In the town of Bella Vista, the community is planting experimental crops to determine which types of vegetables and fruits can be grown in the local climate and soil. Organic techniques and soil conservation have been promoted. The people here have generally been subsistence fishermen and hunters. These agricultural programs have helped to increase income and also provide the added benefit of good nutrition, particularly among children. While the progress is tangible and measurable, the success stories are still new. Long-term changes in behavior need continued support to take hold.
La gente recién está aprendiendo a organizarse, a participar y a cuidar lo que tenemos, ¿no? Entonces, si esto se acaba, entonces se acabaría todo, porque esto tiene que madurar. La gente no acata de la noche a la mañana, ¿no?
6 years may seem a long time for conservation work, but with the backdrop of generations of unregulated access to natural resources and new threats arriving in the region, 6 years is only one phase of work, during which WWF and its partners have been able to change an environment of animosity against protected areas and sustainable management into active local support.
Mis agradecimientos a la institución de IFAE y luego a la institución WWF, que también nos ha apoyado bastante para que tengamos nuestros recursos libres para trabajar y de ahí seguir adelante, ¿no? Para el desarrollo de la comunidad de Matehual. Le agradezco mucho a usted. Como institución le quedo muy agradecida y que sigan adelante.
Somos pocos los que así nos encargamos de la naturaleza, porque la naturaleza es pues nuestra madre, pues la tierra es nuestra madre, ¿no? Que tenemos que cuidar, porque si no, ¿dónde vamos a ir a dar después? Yo también les agradezco por venir ustedes y bueno, llevarse esta información hasta más allá, ¿no? Entonces para que nos vean también de que estamos protegiendo también al mundo a la vez, ¿no? También yo creo que estamos contribuyendo también.